you guys, and welcome to Witchy Thing Weekly, week number 2. Before I get started, I do want to thank you guys all so much that viewed my ranting video recently and sent me all kinds of words of encouragement. I am feeling much better. My car is back. It cost me a boatload of money, but my car is back. I'm applying to other jobs so that I can hopefully get out of the stressful environment that I'm in. I know that every job has their stresses, but, you know, whatever. I don't remember what else it was. Oh, and I'm feeling a bit better. So, thank you guys all so much for that. Okay, so, Witchy Thing Weekly. This week we are going to be talking about the witchiest thing that you could probably think of, which is spells and magic. Now, basically, a spell is using different kinds of tools or objects or, you know, movements and rituals to help to focus your energy towards a specific intention, and then to build that energy up until you have enough to where you can let it go towards your goal or your intention. Now, not everybody has to use tools and props and different things like that. There are some people that can just sit quietly and put their intentions out there, and that's their spell, and that's awesome. Kudos to them. I can't do that. There are some people that have to do the full-on ritual and the full-on circle to do spells. Other people, if they want to do something, you know, they go to their altar or they go to their sacred space and they just perform the magic and are good to go. So you don't have to have a specific way to perform magic. And I'm going to repeat myself over and over and over in this. But basically, do what feels right to you. Don't, just because a book says you have to cast a magic circle, or just because a book says you have to use roses for a love spell or whatever, you don't have to follow things to a certain T. Because the whole principle behind a spell is you are getting together these different kinds of tools and whatnot to help you to focus your intentions on, you know, your goal. So another way that I look at spells, and I said this in my, I don't know, it was one of my videos, I think it was explaining your path to others, how you can compare spells to prayers. Now think of, I don't know how many of you have actually been to a church. I used to go to church a lot when I was younger, and when you go to church, what do you see? There's candles, there's incense, you have your priest and he's all, you know, dressed up. You've got paintings and pictures and statues everywhere. Everybody is very quiet when they pray. You know, they put their head down, they close their eyes, they put their prayer out there, and then afterwards they sing their hymns. Well, isn't that exactly the same as what we do? You got the candles, the incense. You may dress in your witchy outfit if you want to during your spells. You may have your chant. So, I mean, it's very similar to a Christian prayer. So, I mean, I know people are like, oh my god, spells are the devil, you're gonna go to hell, but honestly, it's basically the same thing as what everybody else is doing, we just call it something different. Okay, so, spells. You can use, basically, like I said, anything that helps you to focus. So, if you want to use, you know, different kinds of crystals, you can. If you want to use, you know, different tools, you've got your athame, you've got your little cauldron, you've got, you know, whatever. If you want to use different kind of herbs, you can use herbs. You can use, I've got like feathers, you can use candles. I mean, you can use, if you want to go outside and use leaves, or you want to use an actual tree, or whatever. I mean, there's even spells where you can go outside in the winter and gather snow and use snow. I mean, you can use whatever it is, mundane or magical. You can make mundane things into magical items. Like, I know that there's a spell for money where you basically just get a blank check and you write it out, write the amount that you want in it. I think Flora was talking about this. And then write who it's from the universe. And that's your spell. Nothing fancy, it's just a check that you use every day, but you turn it into a magical item. So, for example, let's say that you're going to do a money spell. You know, you want to do a spell for money. So you get together a green candle, you get together maybe a green crystal, maybe you want to grab some aventurine, or maybe you want to grab pyrite because it's gold. You get together some kind of an herb that, you know, you feel, either that you feel draws money, or, you know, if you want to look it up in a book, there's actually, what one is it? I think it's Scott Cunningham. Yeah, the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. That has every different herb you can possibly think of, and then all of the different magical properties with it. And there's actually quite a few big books for all of those. They have those for crystals and for candles and for everything. Maybe you want to get your little cauldron and you want to get a piece of paper along with it, and you write down your chant, or you write down how much you need, and you burn it. You know, you can use whatever it is that feels right to you. Now there are so many, hold on. Okay, these are just a couple, but there are so many different spell books. There's, you know, the Goodly Spell Book, you've got Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, you've got Everyday Magic, you've got the Spells Bible. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of books out there that have nothing but spells in them, which are great. A lot of people don't like them because they call them instant magic, but I like having them because if I use them, they're used as guidelines. And that's the big thing that you have to understand if you're going to use a spell book, is that you don't have to follow everything to a T. When I was first starting out, I thought that I had to follow everything exact. And if I looked in this book and I was like, God, I don't have any anise seed, and I don't have mugwort, and I don't have mint, I don't have any of this stuff. I can't do this spell. This dream pouch, I can't do it. Well, that's totally wrong. You know, let's say that you want to do a spell or you want to do a protection spell, or a purification spell. And probably what you will find is sage, because sage is a huge herb when it comes to purification. What are most sage bundles? I mean, they're made out of sage because they're excellent for purifying. Now, let's say that you see that and you're like, ugh, I hate the smell of sage. I think that it stinks. I don't like burning it in my house because it makes my house feel dirty. Whatever. If you don't think that sage is a purifying herb, don't use it. If you think that lavender is a purifying herb, and when you smell lavender you just can't get enough of it, and you put it all over your house because you feel like it purifies your house, use lavender instead of sage. You don't have to follow those spells to a T. If they say something, if they have their little chant, and the chant says, you know, it doesn't rhyme, or you don't like what it says, so change it. Change the words around. Add your own spell in there. You know, add your own chant. The spells and the spell books, just use them as guidelines. You don't have to follow them to a T. You don't know where the spells came from. You know, they may have been spells that worked for that person, but they may not work that well for you because you're not that person. They may have made it up off the top of their head. You don't know where they came from. And the big thing to remember is when you are doing spells, and when you are doing magic, you are the one that is performing the magic. The magic and the energy is coming from you. So as long as you have something that's going to help focus your intention, it doesn't matter if you're doing a love spell and it calls for pink candles and roses and hearts, and instead you think that orange is good for love, and when you see a circle you think of love, and you know, you can use whatever it is that you want. You don't have to follow guidelines. So this took me a really long time to actually figure out, because I would be doing spells directly from books. I'm like, I don't understand why they worked. I followed it exactly. Well, it's because I wasn't feeling the spell. I wasn't feeling the energy coming from it. So when I would just do it, then nothing would happen. But when I took things and I tinkered with them and put in what I wanted, then they worked, because they worked for me. So I hope this guy's helps. Wow. I hope this helps you guys. And I would love to see your video responses on your opinions on spells and magic. And I hope you guys have a great day. Blessed be.